Hi guys, here we are for our next math lesson. So we're going to get started. Make sure you have out your math notebook, a pencil, and then a whiteboard and a marker so we can do some practice problems. All right, so a little bit of review to start. On your whiteboard, I want you to write this number 596 in expanded form. Go ahead and pause the video and do that real quick. Okay, here we go. So hopefully you wrote 500 plus 90 plus 6. Remember, we need to look at the place value. That 5 has a value of 500. That 9 has a value of 90. And the 6 has a value of 6. Or if we did expanded form using multiplication, we could do the same thing. The 5 is in the hundreds place. The 9 is in the tens place, and the 6 is in the ones place. So just a little review of a skill we already know, but we're going to be using that skill today. Okay, next skill, review of an area model. We're going to look at our area models. It's going to look a little bit different today, but we're going to review this. So we know in our area model, we break up the 23 just like we did with expanded form. So we have 2 times 20, which is 40, and 2 times 3, which is 6. And when we put these together, we add these up, we end up with a product, an answer to our multiplication problem of 46. Okay, so today our lesson is we're finding the quotient, which means we're dividing again, and we're using a single-digit divisor and a multi-digit dividend, okay? So we're going to do some partial quotients, and we're going to do some area models, and we're going to be using expanded form to help us do both of those things. So here we are. We're going to set this up first. We know that division is the opposite of multiplication. So we're going to use our old knowledge or old work of an area model to help us kind of do a backwards one. So this is the area model that we just set up. So go ahead and add that into your math notes. We just set that up, we know. But we could also work backwards. This was a multiplication of 2 times 23. So we were given 2 times 23, and we ended up with 46. Now here, if we're working backwards, 46 divided by 2, we need to look at the expanded form. So expanded form of 46 is 40 plus 6. So we're going to set that up in our area model. But this time, since we're dividing, this is the answer. So this is going to go inside the area model. Now, we know that division is the opposite of multiplication. So we need to figure out what do we multiply here times 2 to end up with 40. Okay, so 2 times what is 40? Let's look at the math fact here. 2 times what is 4? Well, we know 2 times 2 is 4, so we have 20. 2 times 20 is 40. Now here we're looking 2 times what is 6. So 2 times 3 is 6. So now if we look here, we're back to this area model, but we did it backwards using the division. Okay, so we're really looking at the groups. So 46 divided by 2 is 23. So you can still use, just like we can use an area model, we can use partial products, and we can use standard algorithm to multiply. We can use all of those things to divide as well. So we're going to look at area model and partial quotients today on how to help us divide with a one-digit divisor. Okay. So using the expanded form, here we go. We're going to record what we've done. So we have this area model here that we put, And now we're going to look at partial quotient. So if you want to mark this in your notes, we can write an area model on one side. And then here, this is going to be partial quotients. Okay? So as soon as I go to the next screen, those words are going to disappear. So write those in your notes, and we're going to look at this. So we knew that we could take 40 out of this number. We've got to look. It's very helpful to know your math facts here. So we can look here. We don't necessarily know what 2 times what is 46. We don't know how many. But we already know from over here that 2 times 20 is 40. So just like in our partial products, we put our parentheses, we need to put our parentheses in our partial quotients as well. So we know we can pull 40 out of 46 by multiplying 20 times 2. Then when we subtract, we have 6 remaining, 6 left. And we know we can pull 2 times 3. We can pull 3 groups of 2 out of 6. So that's 3 times 2 is 6. Now we're down to nothing remaining. So when we look at this, we pulled out 20, then we pulled out 3 more with nothing left for a total of 23. And that's what we got for our quotient over on our area model as well. So remember when we were multiplying, we looked at the relationship between an area model and partial products. It is the same thing here with dividing. There is the same relationship with an area model and partial quotients. So 23. So here we go. We're looking at another one, 268, and we're going to divide by a single digit divisor of 2. So expanded form, if we look at the 2, we have 200, the 6, we have 60, and the 8, we have 8. So when we break that up, that's going to be inside of the area model because that's our answer. So set up your math notebook like this. Split it in half. And we're going to do the area model up on one side, and we'll do the partial quotients on the other side, and we're going to do them at the same time so you can see the relationship. So when we have this, we need to figure out, we need to ask ourselves, how many groups of 2 can we make out of 200? Well, let's ask ourselves here. We can divide this, right? 2 goes into 2 one time, and we have 2 zeros left over, right? 2 times 100 is 200. Same thing with 60. 2 and 6. Think of your fact families. Think of your math facts. Well, we know 2 times 3. So here we have, oh, I'm jumping ahead, sorry. So we got to go over to our partial quotients before we move on to our 60. So we figured out using our area model that we can pull out 200. So go ahead and pull out 200. And then our parentheses, we need to decide 2 times what? Well, we said that is 100 times 2. So we're taking 100 times 2 out to get our 200. Now we're going to move on to the 60. Sorry about that. So now we need to figure out, well, think of your math facts. 2 times 3 is 6. So that means 2 times 30 is 6. So over here, we can pull out 60. So we know we can pull out 60 because that's what we pulled out on our area model. So we know 2 times 30 is 60. When we subtract, we're left with 8. Back to our area model, 2 times what is 8? Hopefully you're thinking 4. So we can pull out 8 again from our partial quotients. And we know in parentheses that's 2 times 4. So same thing here. On our area model, when you add up 100 plus 30 plus 4, you get 134. When we look at our 100 plus 30 plus 4, we end up with 134. So I want you to see the relationship between the area model that we're working backwards a little bit and the partial quotients. So 134, so 268 divided by 2 is 134. 268 divided by 2 is 134. So no, these are the area model and the partial quotients. Eventually, we will get to standard algorithm, but this is where we're starting. So check. We can always check. Whenever we divide, we want to use multiplication to check. So if we do 134 times 2, we should get 268. Well, 2 times 4 is 8, 2 times 3 is 6, and 2 times 1 is 2. So we have 268. Check. We're good to go. Hold on, my computer is a little bit, there we go. All right, so here's one I want you to set up. 96 divided by 3, and it's asking you to use an area model and partial quotients. So set up your whiteboard in half, and I want to see you do it both ways. You can do one and then the other, or you can do them at the same time. That might be a little bit easier. So go ahead and pause the video and take care of that problem. All right, you guys are back. That's a little bit of work. Hopefully you have all of your area model filled out. And then on your partial quotients, I really want to make sure that you have your parentheses. Those parentheses are very important. So let's take a look. When you break up 96, I hope you put 96 inside the area model. Then 3 times 30 is 90. 3 times 2 is 6. So we get 32 for a quotient. Same thing. Look at this number. You're going to start being able to see what you can pull out. 3, you can pull out 90, which is 3 times 30. Then you can pull out 6, which is 3 times 2. 32 is what your quotient is. Okay, we have another one for you. Again, the area model and the partial quotients. Let's see both of them on your whiteboard, please. Go ahead and pause the video and try this one for us. Okay, you guys are back. Let's see it. When we look at the next one, so hopefully you broke up 846. 846. 2 times 400 is 800. 2 times 20 is 40. 2 times 3 is 6. When you add those up, we get a quotient of 423. So that's the same thing you're doing over there on your partial quotient. Okay, here's an even bigger one. So same exact system, same exact rules, same process. We're just using something in the thousands form. So now we're looking at this 9. That 9 is in the thousands. So let's turn that into an area model. Put this in your math notebook, please. And we're dividing it by 3. 3 is our divisor. So we're going to divide by 3. So now let's think. 3 times what is 9,000? Well, think of your math facts. 3 times what is 9? Hopefully you're thinking 3, right? So 3 times 3,000 is 9,000. So look over here. We can pull out 9,000 from our partial quotients. So when we pull out 9,000, we did that by multiplying 3 times 3,000. So put your parentheses. Now we're going to move on to the 600. Look at your math facts. 3 times what is 6? So you know that 3 times what is 600? Hopefully you're thinking 200. So now we're going to pull out 600 over here. And when we pull out 600, we do that by 200 times 3. Subtract, we get 39. Next, we're looking at our 30. 3 times what is 30? Hopefully you're thinking 10. So next over here, when we pull out 30, we're doing that by multiplying 10 times 3. Subtract, we have 9 left. Now, back to our area model. 3 times what equals 9? 3. So now we're going to pull out 9 over here. And we know we did that by doing 3 times 3. So now we need to add up all of these. So we have 3,000 plus 200 plus 10 plus 3. 3,000 plus 200 plus 10 plus 3. So we get 3,213 as our quotient. Make sure you guys have that all in your math notes. Make sure you have your area model set up, your partial quotients. It's very important to have your parentheses. So you need your parentheses with your partial quotients so you know what you're pulling out. All right, and then we can check. So we can check with our quotient times our divisor, and we should end up with our dividend. So we're going to do 3,213 times 3. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. And 3 times 3 is 9. And check, that is what we started with. So we're in good shape. Remember, if you check and you don't get what you should you just move on? Hopefully not. Go back and figure out what went wrong. So something either went wrong with your division or something went wrong with your checking. If they don't match, figure out what went wrong. Okay, here you go. So last whiteboard problem right here. Set this up. I want to see an area model and partial quotient. So go ahead and pause the video and set that up. All right, welcome back. Here we go. Let's take a look. Start with your expanded form, 8,420 and 6. 2 times 4,000 is 8,000. 2 times 200 is 400. 2 times 10 is 20. 2 times 3 is 6 for 4,213. And your partial products looks exactly the same. All right, guys, that's area model and partial quotients. We'll move on to standard algorithms soon. All right, have a great day. Bye.